If you've ever wondered what those super cheap $10 Amazon knives were like, don't worry, I got you covered. Today, we're checking out something from a brand called Kexmo. Now, they reached out to me. At the time, this smaller guy was like $10, and I couldn't turn it down. Send it over. I want to see what a $10 Amazon knife is like. I think now it's like $12 or so, but the pricing fluctuates a lot. Anyway, this brand called Kexmo, keep edge, execute mission. I like it. That's amazing. And I don't see it on here, but on their listing on Amazon, they call this model a pocket knife for men. Kind of a wild name. Apparently, if a woman tries to use this, her hand just melts away. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely an odd name, but we're going to break these open together, and I think I have to rip this box open. And we'll talk a little bit about the steel too. I did do a little bit of research on it and HRCs, stuff like that. Other experiences people have had with this. So here we are. This is the smaller one, and it's still kind of a chunky boy as far as weight goes. Oh yeah, I like it. Kind of a spear point. You got some speed hole action going on right there. 3CR13 steel on this thing. Stainless steel bolsters, and then it has like a rosewood, I believe they call it. Rosewood on there. A pocket clip that is tipped down. All right, so you got to put it in where it's sitting like this or like that in your pocket. Not reversible. Honestly, the build quality is not bad on this. You got a glass breaker there as well. How does it fit in the hand? This one feels a little bit small for me, but I can still mostly get 4 fingers on it. You got some jimping right there, and it's not bad ergonomically, really. Let's try to close it on up. Ooh, got a little bit of stiffness there. Is it assisted? It feels like it might be. Yeah, it's assisted. So an assisted flipper. Action's actually pretty good on it. Liner lock. And it's pretty centered, more centered than some knives I've got that were hundreds of dollars. Let's break open the other one, and then we'll weigh them, measure them, cut some paper, talk about the steel a little bit. I did a deep dive on 3CR steel, and they claim HRC on these things to be 56 to 59, which is actually, even a little bit higher than where it's supposed to be at. The thing about 3CR steel is that it can really only take an HRC up so far. So I don't think any company has a hard time heat treating it, because really like 56 is usually the max. And I'm guessing that's probably more where they are at with this steel. Gonna get you probably about 50% of the edge life that 14C would get you, but it is fairly tough and fairly corrosion resistant. It's just the edge retention. So you'd be sharpening this thing a lot, but for a beater knife, ooh, not too bad, really, especially for the price. This one is definitely a chunky boy, definitely fits the hand quite well. You got that same pocket clip design there. If you're a righty holding this, you're gonna have that pocket clip in your hand, but it's not too bad. It protrudes up a bit right there, but then flattens out. So the hot spots on it aren't that bad. It doesn't feel horrible in the hand, really. Same spear point blade. This one's got a coating on it. You got those same speed holes. You can see right there on that side. It's like a fuller, but it's not on that side. And it is a liner lock. Let's try right-handed action. Not bad. Could I even flick it out with that fuller? No, you can't, because it's too hidden. I couldn't get my big fat fingers in there, honestly. Rosewood, it's a stainless steel bolster, not aluminum from my understanding. Jimping right there, and some back here. So you can definitely feel locked in. I mean, if you needed a beater knife or just something you always kept in your truck for like emergencies, not bad, really. This one has a glass breaker as well. Let's weigh these and measure them. So the smaller one here, 3.5 ounces. It feels kind of chunkier than that for some reason. Maybe just because of where the weight is at with the steel right here. But that's not bad. It is a little bit on the shorter side, but I can get my pinky just right on the end there. Do wish I had more jimping along here, because I feel like my thumb wants to be out there with the small one as opposed to back here. What's the bigger guy weigh? Almost 6 ounces. Yeah, that one's definitely more of a chunky beast here. Cutting edge on the shorter one, about 2 3/4. Overall blade length, about 3. And then the overall length, I got to hold it upright because with that clip, it wants to teeter-totter. You're about 6 3/4 on this one. On the full-size cutting edge, about 3.5, blade length, about 3 3/4. Overall length, about 8.5 or so. Maybe a little less, 8 3/8. Blade stock thickness on the smaller one, about 90 thousandths. So it's a slicey blade there. Bigger one, about 108 thousandths. So yeah, on both of these, even though they're heavier knives, most of the weight is in the handle. The blades are pretty thin. Let's zoom in on the edge here. It doesn't look horrible. Not much of a sharpening choil, but you know, people that know what they're doing could still sharpen up here. You just go right up to that line right there, the ricasso right there. Edge doesn't look horrible, definitely looks a bit toothy. There's that side. Little uneven on the bevel, but it could be worse. Here's the black one. Ooh, what is that? You got like some texture right there, some micro milling or something. That's a nice touch. This bigger one's like 14 bucks right now, and they thought to do that with the blade. That's a nice touch, not gonna lie. Interesting how the fuller's only on one side. Here's what this side looks like. Doesn't have that same milling pattern. No, it does. On this one, it almost feels a little bit more like a hollow grind. Yeah, maybe. Let's cut some paper. How sharp are we here? Starting. Let's try some thicker paper. Yeah, I can do it. Maybe I just got to go quick. Not the sharpest edge. Like if I try to go slow, it's not going to slice through it. Yeah. But it's a, you know, it was a toothy edge as you guys saw. Yeah. It'll cut stuff. How's the little guy here? If I go quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's try it like this. Like, can I do a slow one? Not really. Yeah, if I get it started, I can. I was using some Spyderco's to cut this paper the other day, and it just went through like butter. But it'll definitely open packages and do some stuff that you need it to do. Let's try computer paper with this one. Yeah. I mean, that Quiet Carry I reviewed the other day was a bit duller than this one. So let's be honest, it's really not bad for a knife that's almost, you know, close to 10 bucks. Honestly, the small one's kind of growing on me a little more. I think I like this one over the big guy, but it depends on your needs. So it's kind of a gas station knife, right? And obviously cheaper materials, cheaper blade steel, you know, research 3CR if you want to, and it'll give you some metrics there. It's fairly tough and fairly corrosion resistant, just not going to have super great edge retention on it. But for the price, build quality is actually pretty damn good on these. It's not horrible looking. I don't like how the pocket clip is just tipped down, but is what it is. The action's pretty good. So it's definitely better than I expected. Is it worth the price? Like this one's like now 12 or 13 bucks? Definitely. If you need just a beater knife for like a once in a while thing, or just, whoa, almost cut myself, just something to keep in your truck or something for emergencies, it would be worth it. Would I use this as like my pocket knife every day? No, you dull that blade up pretty quickly. You know, I would spend a little bit more, spend $30 some and get yourself a Migron or something. Why am I almost cutting myself? But as far as just like an emergency type of knife, or you're just really balling on a budget here, it's definitely worth the price. There's shitty knives out there that are double this price. So I definitely understand why it seems to have so many reviews on Amazon and seems to be popular. For the money, what you're getting, it's really not bad. Found a little chunk of cardboard here. Let's just try to slice through that. Yeah, I mean, it's slicing. I wouldn't use this to cut cardboard all day long, but in a pinch, it'll do it. So like here's a PM2. That'll slice through it easier for sure. I'm not having to put as much force on it. This needs to be sharpened a bit too. But I mean, it slices. That guy slices, and in a pinch, it'll help you out. I think it's worth it. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I expected it to be even worse. Now, the naming on this is absolutely silly. A woman could definitely use either of these knives. Calling it a pocket knife for men is just odd. Give it a cool name, and you might even sell more of them. Of course, you might be getting some sales from a certain kind of person with the name it has now, too. But I think it's silly. No blade movement on it. Lockup feels pretty damn secure on this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for the price, it's a winner. I'm impressed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have one of these, really interested to hear how it held up for you. I might do some cardboard cutting tests on this sometime this summer. I think that would be a fun video. I'll put links in the description for these. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It's really appreciated. And check out one of my others. That about wraps it up. Until next time, thanks for watching.